What's up, people? I hope everyone is well. So, what is everyone up to today? Let me know what you're up to today. Just done a walk at the moment. So I was live yesterday. What was it? Yesterday morning, I think. I was like just kind of being all kind of negative, really. I don't know. Sometimes I'm in those moods where I'm just like always seeing problems and everything, and it's not good, is it? It's not good to have that mindset where you just like you're just looking for problems and everything. It's just like, oh no, blah blah blah. It's like, I mean, yeah, there's problems in the world. Hello, Sparky. So it's like, yeah, there's problems in the world, and there's things that are, kind of trying to get in the way of our lives, but you can't let that, be like, get you down. You've got to just kind of just like accept things for the way they are and just try to work around it. You can't just let it keep you down, because that's not gonna do you well in the long run. It's like, I don't know, it's just that a lot of people just want to be kind of victims, or just complain all the time. It feels good because people complaining to each other, and then they'll feel like a sense of like that dopamine, because they're because it's like they're around people who are also miserable, and like I don't want to be putting out that kind of energy. I'm gonna do a workout, not right now. I did a few push-ups earlier with some weights in my bag. I managed to do just over 20 of those, so pretty happy with that. So notice I've been getting stronger with a lot of these movements and stuff, and yeah, I was doing quite a lot exercise yesterday. I went for a run. I did some of the body weight stuff, really, and just like mixture of different things, really. So yeah, so you don't want to like overdo it, really. Just kind of that's good. That it's just about kind of making slow, gradual improvements, and sometimes you have to just be patient with the results, because the thing is, you get to one goal and it's like, okay, well, where do I go from there then? Because at some point you're gonna start to struggle to make any progress, because that's just the law of diminishing returns. So then it makes sense to try and move on to something else and try to get good with that. Like everything that we try and do, there's going to be a diminishing returns with it. For example, you want to get good at playing a particular sport. Well, our kind of like abilities will start to kind of plateau after a while, because there's nothing else to really learn. Like our body gets to its maximum capability of like things such as coordinating that specific movement, for example. So, or for example, if you learn like an instrument, then eventually you're going to reach a plateau where you're not really going to be making much improvement anymore. You might make small improvements, but they'll be ever so slight. So yeah, it takes time to progress, but once you get good with something, then it makes sense to move on to something else, because trying to squeeze out a last bit of progress in something is just not worth this. The juice ain't worth the squeeze kind of thing. It makes sense to then move on to different things, and we could just become boring if doing the same thing, trying to improve on that. Some people, what they'll do is that, say for example, they try and build muscle. After a while they'll just be happy with that physique and then just, you know, just kind of like maintain that instead of trying to squeeze out an extra few pounds of muscle, which really isn't going to benefit you in any way. Hello Moana, how are you doing? Make sure you subscribe if you're new here, that'd be really appreciated. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's just try to just, you know, they say the variety is the spice of life, so try and get good with one thing. Like you don't need to be like world class, but if you get good at things and then you get good at something else, and then it's like, I'm not saying be a jack of all trades, but being good at a lot of things is, I think, a good idea. Becoming, you don't want to be too specialist, but you also don't want to just be okay at everything, because that's gonna, yeah, no, it's not good. So yeah, but I'm just on a walk at the moment, really. Just kind of, yeah, it's a nice day today actually. I don't know what it's like where you are, but I'm thinking I probably won't be busking in Manchester, or at least not anytime soon. I don't know, because I feel like these big cities are probably going to be toxic for that kind of stuff. So unless I know people like want to come meet me down there and support whatever, but I wouldn't want to be doing it on my own down in these big cities, really. Just feels kind of, there's some sense of hostility. Whereas if I'm with people, then I've got people to back me up, and yeah, it's just some of these like big cities are quite rough. You've got a lot of rough people in them. A bit dull in Manchester. Oh no, it's not too bad here. It's like, it's a bit like, it's a bit overcast, but it's not too bad. It's yeah, got some sun, but it tends to be all right over here a lot of the time. But we have had some like quite cold days though. But yeah, it's just it's been kind of like planning like what I want to do, and probably just going to try and save up money, and at some point I hope that I can maybe find someone to settle down with and have a family, and then I could have a nice house like in the country maybe. I don't know, it'd be nice to have it somewhere out in the country perhaps, where it's like quiet and, you know, maybe not too far out in the country, but like not too urban, cause I don't know, don't like the whole urban thing really. So yeah, it's it'd be nice to be somewhere close to nature, and if there's people around there, then it'd be more kind of like a community, because I find like big cities and even, you know, like smaller cities to a degree, there's just not like, you know, there's no like, real community there. You will get certain elements of community in places like that, but the bigger the place, then it tends to become more, I don't know, it just people become more and more individualized in a sense. It's like they're just, it's more of like the kind of dog eat dog kind of mentality, and just like kind of all out for themselves. It's all hustle. You get those type of people moving into these places, and that kind of, you know, like that whole mentality kind of like it infects a lot of the people there. They become quite anxious and quite some people are just going to become kind of like, I don't know, there's just a certain vibe with some of those places. Yeah, it'd be nice to be somewhere out in the country, get a nice house, maybe like probably somewhere between $250,000 to $500,000. Like probably have a few bedrooms, but like doesn't have to be anything crazy. But like somewhere that's you know, kind of like got a decent amount of space, enough to raise a family basically. comfortably. Like, I wouldn't want somewhere that's just like really small and cramped. It'd be a nice space with nice garden, and yeah. I mean, you can actually get country houses. It's crazy, isn't it? You can get like a 4 or 5 bedroom country house for less than what it would cost for like a 1 bedroom bed sit in the middle of London. Like, how crazy is that? It's like, so you're getting it in a much nicer area with beautiful scenery around you or nearby, and then you've got somewhere like central London where it's absolutely awful, concrete jungle. Who the fuck would want to be there? I don't know. It's like, unless you're making millions, it's not even worth it. But like, why would anyone want to live in a flat in London? I don't understand the appeal of that. It's just such a hostile environment and just depressing. Yeah, 3-4 bedrooms probably would be like ideal if you've got a family. And I remember, like, you can get them close to where I used to live for about 200,000, but it's probably gone up a bit. Might be like 250. I don't know, but that would be like ideal for a family. So like, yeah, so I'm gonna see like how much I can save up, and then it's just that I don't want to have to be asked around with mortgages and shit like that. So what I should do is just really just try and save up as much as humanly possible. And yeah, if I can have multiple income streams, then yeah, exactly. It's so expensive in London. Yeah, I've heard about the average rent in London, in central. I think central London, it's about 2.5k. I think the average for the whole of London, something like, it's still over $2,000. And I think it's probably still like 1,000 a month on the outskirts of London. So even for people commuting from the outskirts, it's probably 1,000 or above just for a shitty little flat. It's crazy, isn't it? But yeah, so you can see why people want to move out of London. It's just not viable anymore. Well, it never really has been. It's like, because even say you're a doctor, then it's like, well, how much are you going to have to be paid for it to be even worth it in London? Like, you'd have to be paid at least probably. I mean, if you're paying to, over 2,000 a month in rent or mortgage, whatever, then you're going to have to be earning at least 4 times that for it to be worth it. Because then otherwise most of your money is just going on rent, and who wants that? Who wants to be paying ridiculous amounts on rent or mortgages? It's just, so yeah, so it's basically London's only for the rich, really. It's just not gonna. So it's like UK isn't a rich country. It's actually a poor country with a rich capital, and yeah, that even London, most of it is poor. Most of the suburbs, you got East London, it's all poor, pretty much. So let's not kid ourselves thinking that the UK is a rich country. It's only rich for the minority of people, because that obviously brings up the average wage. But the reality is that, if we talk about like the average person in terms of, like median salary, it's a lot less than, say, like the mean salary, where the mean salary is where you we add up all the numbers and then divide it by the number of people living there. That'll give you your mean salary, but your median salary is actually a more accurate representation of what the average person is making, because it's very top heavy. So you get me. Hello Timmy, how you doing? So yeah, it's just, I've heard a lot of these big cities, like I've heard Toronto's really expensive, and California, I've heard a lot of that's really expensive. It's just, yeah, like, I'd rather live in somewhere that's nice and quiet out in the country. The reason why a lot of people don't want to live there is because there's not as many opportunities. Well, it all depends really. The thing is, a lot of businesses are going online now anyway, so I was talking about this yesterday. It's like that a lot of these physical location businesses are not even viable anymore because of the rents and all that and the cost of living. So, but I mean, online businesses are a lot more viable for people because there's very little startup cost, if any, when you're buying a house. Once I've got the money, it's just about, but I'm thinking like, if I do want to stay in this country, then what I need to do is save up enough so that I can just buy one. And then, it's like have a family and all that. But you could, there's some places out there that are, it's not going to be that expensive. If it's a, quiet area, it's not close to any like big city or anything. It's just because it's going to be as sought after, even despite it could be in a beautiful area, but it's just whereas somewhere like York, I've seen some of the house prices here can be quite expensive. Like you can be paying $250,000 for like 2-bed house, maybe something like that, 3-bed whatever. It's like, but you can get them cheaper in some other areas. So you've just got to like look at like your options and stuff. But it's just it'll be like if I could like say start making like bank, then I can start getting that money in no time. But I just need to figure out how I'm going to do that. I mean, because like I could do like the busking and stuff, but like that's only gonna, like on a good day that might get me £50-100 or whatever. But unless I don't know, I want to try and get big with the YouTube and stuff, and maybe I can figure out some ways to like do like affiliate links. I mean, there's things like that I could do, but would people actually use them? Because if I could say get, some people can make like 10k a month on doing affiliate marketing. So if you could make 10k a month, then you're going to be making like over 100k a year. But that's just from one stream of income. So it's just about trying to get that. Find some things you would want to buy. Let's say, for example, I look at sports supplements, because I talk a lot about that on my channel. And if it's stuff that people are buying anyway, they could buy it through me. Let's say it costs, I don't know, let's just say it costs £10 for a tub of creatine, and they give me 10% commission, and then I get £1 off every transaction. So not only are they getting the creatine that they would be buying anyway, but they're supporting me while doing that, so they might as well, if it's actually a good quality one. It all depends on price and all that, but not so far off 2k subs, so shouldn't take too long now. Like we're on 1.7k. If I can keep banging videos out, and maybe then that's also another stream of income from the ad revenue, but it's a numbers game really. It's just kind of like you have to get a lot of viewers. But I was thinking about when I do the busk, I need to try and start really kind of pushing my stuff out. Maybe I can push my channel out more, and just try and tell people, hey, I've got a YouTube channel, check it out, and I'll just have like a banner or something that'll promote it, and then they'll go and check it out hopefully, and that will drive traffic to it, so that then they'll go watch my videos. And if I can get if you can get about 100,000 views per week, that generates roughly about $200. So that's like, that would be a pretty good stream of income just on its own, like, and then you can get like more super chats, things like that. Alright, Susanna, how you doing? Hope you're well. And it'll just drive me a lot more traffic. I get more from like the affiliates and different things. So it's just, you've got to have like a business mindset with all this stuff really. It's like, I enjoy doing the talking about stuff and all that, but you got to think about, okay, well, how am I going to utilize it the best way, the most efficient way to make income from it? Because then it's just you're not, you're not like using it to its full potential if you just say doing ad revenue and all that, because that might not be reliable. Hi, Mark. Yeah, sorry about, I was gonna like come to your chat, but I was like, sorry about the other day. I was just like, I don't know, sometimes I'm just in one of those moods where I'm just being kind of awkward and just like, I don't know why I do that sometimes, but I'm just like, I'll just try and, I don't know, it's like I'm just arguing for whatever reason, I don't know, but hope all is well with you. Yeah, I managed a new record with the plank, the low plank, 3.5 minutes I managed last night. I did it live, so you can go see it, but yeah, that could be a thing, yeah, mugs. In fact, I do actually have a merch thing. I need to go and try and promote it out again, and maybe I can get some people to buy stuff. So that's another like avenue. Yeah, I know, it was just like, because I thought you seemed a bit like, I don't know, upset with that, and it was just yeah, I ended up like, because I continued arguing with like fucking what was it, what's she called, the who came to my live the other day, and it was just like, I don't know, sometimes I'm just like, I don't know, it's just like, I do this whole thing of like playing devil's advocate and like, yeah, I do like a lot of, well, kind of like try to understand different points of view, but sometimes I do things in a way that makes it come across like I'm looking to start an argument, and yeah, so I've seen this stuff before about, slow running and all that, so I understand that there's some science to that. I think like from the research that I've done is that that those runs are kind of like what you call like recovery days from like the fast runs, because sometimes you would do things what they call high intensity interval training for top speed basically, and that will help with improving your VO2 max. So I think it's like, when we're talking about running, it's like there's a nuance to it, is what it is that just doing slow running would not make you go faster, but that helps with endurance. But if you just do high intensity intervals, then also that's only going to help you to become faster short bursts. So basically it's like you want the best of both really, and that'll help you to improve your speed as well as endurance. Because like if you go like too hard and you're doing like, say, a bunch of like intervals, that is very that is quite it's quite taxing really. It's like you're getting like, because actually it can actually be like a lot of lactic acid, and yeah, we're okay, brother. Cool. Yeah, we're talking to Sparky. Yeah, so yeah, basically like, if you're doing loads of like hard runs, you get, because I heard there was some woman who like tried to run really, I think it was cycling, but they were doing really like taxing stuff with like sprints like all the time, like every day. I think they were doing it, and they ended up getting some kind of illness that they had to go to hospital to treat. It can be quite dangerous. So that constant lactic acid in your system is not good. So it's like you've got to have days where you're not going so hard, so that way you're not taxing yourself. Because if I feel like I've gone too hard with training on one day and then I'll take it easy on the next day, it's just I go with like intuition, with like what I feel like is right to do. So if I feel like I should take it easy, then I'm not going to try and force myself. Some people say, oh, you got to force yourself even if you're not feeling like it, but it's like if you really feel like I think the thing is that if people are saying that, it's like people are not going to like, some people might not differentiate between, is this going to be going too hard, or would not training just mean that I'm being lazy? And some people might find it hard to kind of tell the difference, but like if you feel like your nervous system is like fatigued and you're just like, really just like there's a real fatigue there, then yeah, you should take it easy. But if it's just that you're feeling like kind of lethargic and you just kind of can't be bothered, then okay, maybe you just like need to just kind of warm into it, and you might find that you can push yourself. So it's just kind of yeah. All right, yeah, you take care. Yeah, it's just about listening to your body. So I actually did a run yesterday, and I went pretty hard, but like, so I did like what? My average pace was like 7.6 miles per hour for like 3.8 miles. The thing is, I might have like pushed myself a little bit too hard at the beginning, and then I felt like I was kind of struggling a little bit at the end. Sometimes I make that mistake where I'm like, because it's like this is something that you get better at over time, where it's like pacing and all that. Where it's like you kind of become more intuitive with like what kind of pace you can maintain for the whole duration. Because what happens if you go too fast at the beginning, then you're going to be going over the lactate threshold, and it's going to like cause you to fatigue a lot quicker. Because what happens with lactic acid, you're just gonna like it ends up meaning that it actually starves you of glycogen. I actually saw that. It was which then basically what happens is you end up with like no energy. You feel like your muscles become completely like drained, because basically your body can't utilize the glycogen properly. So if you stay at more of a steady pace, so that might be another reason why go slower. But because if you try to go too fast, then you might think you can go super fast at the beginning, but then you get halfway through and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to slow down. So that can actually slow down your average pace. You get me? Like if you're say going at 10 miles per hour, and you can only keep that going for like say 1 mile, and then the rest of it you can only do 6, for example, for let's say if you go for like, I don't know, 3 miles, let's say. So the first mile you try and go really hard and go for 10 miles per hour, and then 2-3 miles you're doing like 6 miles per hour because you're just feeling tired, because maybe that was too much for you, like with the lactic acid, and you just start fatiguing, and that's gonna like put down your average, and you just end up expending like unnecessary energy. So it's all about efficiency really with your training, where it's like if you go too hard, let's say you're in like anaerobic territory where you're trying to go for long distance but you're going too fast at the beginning, then you're like, and then you end up having to slow down. But that average speed would be less than, say, if you did 8 miles per hour for, say, 3 miles, rather than doing 10 miles an hour for 1 mile and then 6 miles per hour for 2 miles after that, if you get me. So like that's it's getting better now. I think, maybe we are coming out of that brutal winter kind of period, but I mean, we're still like technically in winter, but we did have that kind of nasty cold snap in beginning of January, so maybe that was like our winter kind of thing, where it really, like, sometimes we'll have like a cold snap and then after that it starts to kind of get better. But so that's good. I need to start doing my traveling soon, and I just try and kind of like make my income, and hopefully I can start making like, who knows, maybe £200-300 a day in total, if I can get all my income streams together. Like if I can do like affiliate marketing, make £100, maybe not 100, I don't know, even if I made £50 a day from that, and then made £50 a day from YouTube, £50 a day from street performing, whatever, and it's like, it all adds up, so this feels better today for some reason. It was actually all right yesterday, because the weather weren't too bad, but it's just the other day on what was it? It was actually all right on Monday as well, but I was just really in a bad mood after that busking session. I was just really it was shit. I've come to realise maybe those big cities aren't it. Maybe I shouldn't do it in those places, because people are hostile, kind of thing. So I don't want to be around hostile people. You're going to get that anywhere, but I'd rather limit the amount of people, these toxic people I can be around, because then that has an effect on you. The people that you're around, you end up, whether you realise it or not, you're absorbing that energy. You've got to be very careful. And some people are maybe more prone to it than others, but everybody to some degree can be affected by bad energy or good energy. So you just gotta be careful. And I've got some horses over there, so I'll just show you a second there. It's a nice little spot here. Sort of walk around for a while. I've like barely had any food. I've only had a couple of bananas, but I'm going to get some food from the shop. So it is a tough business, but like, you've got to like look at other ways of supplementing it, is what I'm saying. So hopefully I can start really kind of getting a bigger channel, then get maybe more donations, and then people will start buying things from it. And it's just like, you gotta see it as a business and not just, because like, people like, when they see it as like their hobby, then they're never gonna get rich from it, because they're not thinking about, well, what value am I providing to people? What way can I provide more value to people? So if you're just thinking about, oh well, I just want to come on and talk to my online friends, that's never gonna get you the results that you want, because it's just like, well, you gotta think about like what value it is that you create. I know it's kind of like become a bit of a cliche, but a lot of people just really under kind of estimate how important building a personal brand is for like your like your online business sort of thing, and how that can really propel it. But another thing that I can do is like investments and stuff. So, and if you can put in a certain amount to that, and then you can generate huge amounts over time. Imagine if you was one of these people that makes, 100k per year, something like that, then you'd be like absolutely bowling, because then you can start putting, let's say you put in half of your income into a portfolio. Let's say you put in 50,000 out of that into a portfolio. Hello, reluctant gamer, how you doing? So let's say you put in 50k per year, which is crazy, but I mean, the average return on the S&P 500 index is 10% for the last century. So if you can hold it for a while, the average returns is about 10% historically. So let's say you put in 50,000 a year. After a year, you've already generated 5,000 in returns, kind of on average. And then you put that 55,000 in, so you keep like adding money into it if you want to compound it. And that's where the real magic starts to happen. After a few years, that 5,000 a year starts to double to 10,000 a year, to 20,000 a year, you see? So it's, yeah. I see channels with 60k subs and oily post of it's madness. Yeah, it depends on what kind of view counts they're getting, really. Because some channels with 60,000 subs, you look at them and they're getting like 200 views on a video. So in that case, I can understand it. But if they're getting like 20, 30,000 views per video, then they should do something with it. They should be trying to capitalize on that. They could sell stuff. They can, yeah. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm going to restart the live, guys. Be back in a sec.